Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Shutter Live this Wednesday, the 18th
18.
of August, 2021. Now, today's show is going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk about getting started with off-camera flash. Most of you, a lot of people joined us this weekend when we had a workshop. And so if you're in the chats and you were in the workshop too, and you have some images you got from the workshop and you want to share with us, you're welcome to let us know at a certain point in the show. We'll probably throw up the link and you can join us and share what you got and your thoughts from the workshop as well. But this show is going to be a very basic form. We're going to have a quick kind of presentation about the theory side, the getting started with the off-camera flash, and especially outdoors. And there's few things that you need to know. And then we'll go ahead and show you guys some examples and what to do. So we're going to go around. We're going to introduce ourselves and we get the show started. My name is Evans, based in Brampton, Ontario. Weddings and events, photographer primarily. I like to shoot everything else for fun too. So, Paul.
Kim has some photos. So Kim, you can come jump on with us in a bit if you want. Hey, Jack. Thanks everyone for jumping on another Wednesday. It's going to be an interesting show. Just want to say big thanks to Evans who did the workshop on Sunday. He crushed it. I'm pretty sure everyone had a good time. I'm pretty sure everyone got a couple of cool photos, and I'm pretty sure people learned a couple of things, which is what it's all about. And big thanks again to Evans for doing that, because it is a lot of work, let me tell you. So we might be doing another one in the fall, possibly like a level 2 class. We'll see what's going to go on with that. There's a lot of things planned for the fall with like the Get Out Shoot group. Like we'll be doing some like Halloween portrait shoots. We're going to be doing a couple other things. So there's a lot going on. So hopefully no lockdowns, so we can do all this fun stuff. And yeah, I'm Paul, if you guys don't know who I am. And I actually have a behind-the-scenes video coming out tomorrow about Evan's workshop on Sunday. So that's going to be dropping tomorrow. And
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. My channel's like all over the place, because I just dropped like episode 3 documentary yesterday. I'm dropping a vlog tonight after this show. An unabandoned explorer of Ontario Place with Bryan. He was there with me. So yeah, go check us out if you haven't already. And kick over to Mr. Andre.
What's up, everybody? Andre, also a Brampton photographer. I shoot everything. I really like steel wool, light painting, and all that good stuff, and all that special effects stuff. Which, yeah, like Paul touched on, we have some stuff in the works for some Halloween type shoots. So watch out for them.
Bangers, Tony. Bangers, Tony. Tony knows the deal. Hey, Jessica.
Meeks.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, here's your money.
My name. Good to see you guys. My name is Selorm. My Meek photos. My photography channel is Meek Photos, and I am happy to be here. And I really love off-camera flash, and I'm happy to be here. All right, Bryan.
Hello. My name is Bryan McGowan, Brampton, Ontario, based with Evans and Andre, and working on leading a whole bunch of these Halloween workshops. We have 5 planned for 5 different weekends. So
crazy.
It's going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of fun, and some people are going to get some really, really good photos. Each workshop is going to be a different outfit. 4 of them are Laura. One of them is the cowboy who's making a guest appearance at a workshop. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work. Planning it all out now. I have to send information to Paul to post on the Get Out Shoot page so that we can get some of them posted. Just because they're coming soon. They're coming soon.
Awesome. I think with us talking about all these workshops, Meek's wish he was in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish. I wish. Don't worry. One day.
Giddy up.
All right. So I'm going to start off quickly. I'm going to take maybe 5 to 10 minutes, do a quick presentation, walk through some of the basics, and then we will go have a discussion and also share some example photos. I'm not going to try to bore you too much about the theory side, but it's also important that we go through some of those. So I'm going to quickly brush through some of these slides, and then we will have an open forum discussion and then share some examples as well. So let me quickly
slides. We're
share.
going proper educational tonight. All right.
Oh,
Yes, tonight we want to do some, more educational stuff.
All right.
Yep.
Who's the teacher now, Meeks?
Oh,
Oh man.
Let's be real. If it was Meeks, he'd be doing more live. This would be the 13th hour of his live show.
Hey, with a live, you don't have to prepare for it. You just show up and then whatever comes out.
Yep.
nice.
Okay, so let's get started. Here we go. So we're just gonna have a basic rush kind of crash course on outdoor photo OCF. OCF basically off camera flash. We call it OCF just for the short form of it. This photo right here was our model from last Sunday's workshop, but this was from one of last year's workshops as well that we had this photo here. And so just an introduction to flash, right? Why do you need flash outdoors? If you're outdoors, there's so much sunlight all around. So why do you need flash? This is one of the most common questions that I've always got. Why do I need flash? Light is all everywhere. Sun is everywhere. Why do I need flash outdoors? Well, there's a couple of scenarios where you would need flash outdoors. When you're using flash on location, it opens up a whole new world of lighting possibilities, right? The best part is it can also be fun. Last Sunday, I had a couple of people saying this looks complicated. Yes, it may sound complicated. It may look complicated when you first start out, but once you get the concepts, not understanding there, it becomes very fun to do because now you are just playing around with the light, shaping the light in whatever form that you like. So your imagination really becomes your limitation, right? You are only limited by your own imagination once you understand how to light properly, because it doesn't matter whether it's daytime, nighttime, whatever time of the day it is, you can head out, take a flashlight or even a strobe, small, speed light, and produce something amazing. Because once you can imagine it and you figure out how to light for it, you can create it. Right. So understanding using flash, it's very important because it opens up a lot of doors for you. Now, when you are outdoors, right, there's two things you need to consider. Now you have you're trying to mix artificial light with natural light. Right, you have the daylight or the available light, and then you have the flash, which is the artificial light, and you are going to mix those two. Now, the level of mix of percentages that you use for the mix is up to you and what you want to create. Some of us can, you can basically just eliminate the sunlight completely, right, and make it look like you shot at night. You can also make it look like you whatever you want to do, you can do. And that's why it makes it important for you to learn to use flash. It is not compulsory, but if you do, you are better and a more versatile photographer because you're not limited by sunlight. One of the other reasons is that you're also not limited by the day or of time, right? So there are people who want to do only natural light and they can only shoot during the daytime. As soon as the sun sets, you're done. Right? Imagine, for example, you only shoot natural light and you go to a scene at sunset and you want to take a shot. Well, you're only limited to what you can do because you either have to expose for the sunset and have your subject be a silhouette, which is an artistic choice if you want to go that route, right? But if you are using outdoor flash, you can be able to have a good balance between the background, which will be the sunset, and also have good lighting on your subject. So your subject doesn't have to be silhouette all the time. You can have the silhouette as usual. You can have it properly lit and balanced between the background and the foreground or the subject, and have a better lighting exposure there. So when do you use flash? Well, when your subject is backlit. This is just examples of situations where you will use flash outdoors. When your subject is backlit, what do we mean by backlit? Let's say you have a subject that has their back turned to the sun and you are shooting into the sun. what's going to happen is that if you want to keep the dynamic range, which is exposed for the sun, and keep some of the beauty of the clouds, then your subject is going to get darker, right? And if you shoot and expose for your subject, then the sky is all blown out, right? And so when you know how to use off-camera flash in this scenario, you can expose for the background, right? And then use the flash to fill in on the subject and have a perfectly balanced exposure between the sky and the subject. So that's one scenario where you want to use flash outdoors. The other one is when the subject is in the shade and the background is too bright. One of the things that we always say is that if you're outdoors and it's completely really sunny, find shady places to shoot, right? But if you're in the shade and your background is still way too bright, then what do? You're going to have overexposures in your background whilst your subject is dark, or you have your subject properly exposed but your background is blown out. And so in that scenario, a little bit of off-camera flash can balance out those two as kind of lines the background and the foreground and give you a proper exposure in that. Also in conditions where you have really bad lighting situations, when you have all sunlight and there is no place for you to go, right? Now, we all talk about the exposure triangle. Guys, I'm rushing through this, so if you have a question, don't forget you can leave it in the comments and we can answer. So if I rush through something that you want to know more about, leave us a comment. We'll go back to it and we will answer you, right? I'm trying to glance through it so that we can have a discussion.
Can you send this?
Yes, I can send this. What I can do is at the end of the video, I will leave a link at the bottom of this video, the description, where you can download this PDF from.
Yeah,
right, and keep it for yourself. So we all know the exposure triangle, right? But how does the exposure triangle affect your photography when you are using flash? Well, ISO is the same, right? Which is the camera sensitivity, nothing changes. Your aperture, right, which is opens and closes to affect the amount of light that comes in, it affects your flash exposure the same way as it will affect your ambient light. Your shutter speed, on the other hand, you gotta understand two things, right? To understand how shutter speed affects your flash exposure. Now, to understand that, you need to understand what a flash sync speed is. What is your flash sync speed? Every camera has what we call a sync speed. The sync speed is the highest shutter speed at which your camera can sync up with flash. Right. So when that flash fires, it's a pulse of light. Your shutter speed is going to be fast enough to be able to allow that full pulse of light in before the shutter closes. Right. So the highest shutter speed at which that can happen is what we call your flashing speed. For most cameras, it can range from 1/60th of a second to as high as 1/25th of a second. I know that recently there's a couple of new cameras that are going way above the 2/50th of a second in the Sony Rem. But generally, you are between 1/60th to 2/50th, 1/250th. The problem here is that what happens if you are outdoors, right? And because there's too much light outside, you want to go over that 2/50th of a second. Well, then there is technologies like high-speed sync. What high-speed sync allows you to do is that it allows you to be able to bypass that limitation of your flash syncs and then allows you to have a better exposure. So you can come up and then do an exposure at maybe one, like aperture of 1.2 or 1.4, 1.8, and still be able to go about shutter speeds like 1/8000 or stuff like that because of that sync speed, high speed sync. Now, high speed sync is usually a combination of both the feature of the camera and your flash. So your flash needs to support high speed sync. If your flash does not support high speed sync, then you got to stay within that sync speed of 2/50th of a second, or 1/60th to 2/50th of a second. If your flash does not support high speed sync, right, and you want to still be able to manage your exposure and darken your stuff, then I would recommend investing in a good quality neutral density filter, ND filter, right? Because you can still do the same thing with ND filter and shoot at your sync speed even if you're outdoors. or you can just up your aperture, right? But if you want to keep that shallow depth of field, you could add on an ND filter to cut down some of the light as well. Okay, now that we have talked about exposure triangle and how it affects, how do you go about balancing the flash and the natural light? Well, the first thing I always say, and that's the first thing I taught at the thing this morning, was that the first, you want to expose for your background or your ambient light. So make sure your flash is off. Take your first shot, exposing with just the natural light. Bring it to the point where you like that natural light exposure. Then turn on your flash and try to figure out how much flash power you need to be able to perfectly balance and get the correct image that you want, right? I would usually start off at maybe 1/16 of power on my flash and work my way up or down depending on how much of a brightness I want on the subject. Right. One thing that I forgot to mention when we were talking about the exposure triangle is that once you set your flash in there, if you want to darken your background, you can use your aperture to affect your natural light exposure without it affecting your flash exposure. Right. So when you're doing this outdoors, you have two exposures. You have your natural light exposure and you have your flash exposure. First, do your natural light exposure, get it to the point where you like it, and then add in the flash and bring in the flash exposure to the point where you like it as well. Like I said, these are just basics. We're just rushing through it quickly. Light modifiers. This is one of the main reasons why I like my flash off camera, right? I don't want to always have, yes, I get it. At weddings, I will put my flash on camera for quick shots when I want to. But when I'm shooting portraits and stuff, I like to take it off the camera. Why do I want to take it off the camera? Because I get to be able to use a lot of different modifiers, right? In addition to a whole bunch of other factors. Once you take that flash off the camera, the camera is separately and off the axis of the camera. The flash is off axis to the camera. And so you can get better control of that light, better exposure with that light, and control that light however means you want. But you can use some of these modifiers to shape the light however it falls on your subject. So you can use bare bulb flash, you can use a reflector, right? What's a reflector? We talked about a reflector. It's a small round cone that, basically just bounces the light. But each of these modifiers, an umbrella, a beauty dish, a softbox, each of these modifiers shapes the lights and modifies the lights in a specific way, right? And the attributes of lights that you get from these modifiers would be different depending on the modifier. When I talk about the attributes, we'll go into those a little bit soon. But what we are talking about in general, when you are choosing a modifier, the deeper the modifier, the more narrow the coverage of light, right? The larger the modifier, the softer light it produces. The more diffused the modifier, the more even the light spread, right? These are just basic general rules. And then I'll talk about the attributes of the light. So soft light. What is a soft light? In a soft light situation, the light transitions from dark or bright to dark in a gradual fashion. So you're not seeing hard cut shadow lines on the subject. It's a gradual transition all across the image. Now, if we talk about a hard light, then we're talking about hard light in the sense that the light transitions from bright to dark very quickly. Right. And so you can have, one face very well lit, and then just a few inches away, it's all black, right? All shadows. It's a very rapid transition with the shadows. And if we look at this, I'm not going to go too much into all of these because of time, but I will share the PDF and you guys can download that and go through it. When I talk about the quality of light or the attributes of this light, we also talked about the hard light and soft light when we talked about the modifiers. Depending on the modifier that you are using, some of these attributes will also come to play. When we talked about reflectors and beauty dish and stuff, those tend to produce harsh light or hard light, and those tend to make your images have what we call specular highlights and give you well-defined shadows as well, because they are small and they tend to, like I said on Sunday, the light, when you're using light, the bigger the light source in relative to the subject, right, you're bound to get more of a softer light. Upstairs. Sorry, guys, one quick second. My little daughter wants to get a hug by force whilst I'm live. Okay. Okay, bye, baby.
Hi, Daddy.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so as I was saying, depending on the modifier type, right? If I have a big softbox and I'm trying to light somebody for a headshot, the softbox will be big in relations to the subject's head. And so I'm bound to get more of an even lighting, softer lighting with gradual, transitions from shadow to light, right? And if I have a beauty dish pointed directly at the head, I might get some hard light with specular highlights on that one as well. So basic common light patterns to look at. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but depending on where you position your light, you can get what we call broad light or a short light, where you have one side of the face lit, the other side of the face pretty much in shadows. You can also look at loop lighting, Rembrandt lighting, split lighting. As we go through the examples that we will share, try to identify some of these patterns in some of those images, right? Based on what we have here. So this slide is where I want to spend a little bit of time to help you guys understand the positioning of light. This is very important, how you position the light in relation to where your camera is positioned and where your subject is. So I have put this on the clock, right? And so you can see we have 12 o'clock here all the way coming up 11 o'clock. And based on these, you can position your light everywhere. Somebody will say, why would I position my lights behind the subject? Well, that's also creativity to add. You can create certain shots that way, backlighting the subject. I have done that a lot. Sometimes for headshots, I use the softbox, a bigger softbox right there as a backlight, or as well as a backdrop, right? And then I fill it in on the front, and you get some of the beautiful high key headshots that way too. So based on which arm of the clock you position your lights, you're gonna get different kind of light patterns or light shapes on the subject's face. So if my subject is in the middle, my camera is at 6 o'clock, which is where I'm shooting from directly, and I position my light at either 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, right? Then I'm going to get what we call split lighting. What is split lighting? One side of the face is going to be lit, right? The other side of the face is going to be in complete shadow, right? Because you're lighting directly from the side, and the light is hitting one side but not making it to the other side. As I move the light right around the clock, let's say I move it over to like 4 o'clock, then you have Rembrandt or loop lighting, where you have one side of the face is lit, a little bit of light spills onto the other side, right? And makes some kind of a triangle right at the base of the cheeks, right? And then you can move the light and put it at here, exactly at your 6 o'clock, directly up and above the subject. In that case, you will get a butterfly lighting pattern. In that scenario, what's happening is that the light forms kind of a butterfly shape right at the bottom of the nose, right? And the same thing, you can go around this and create different looks based on where you are positioning the light in relation to your camera and the subject, right? Now, these are just the general stuff, but you can also play around with them however you want, the positioning of your light. Right. These are just maybe the basics of it. And that's what I wanted to cover today. We're going to discuss these in details with our panel today, as well as show you guys examples of these. And as we go through, guys, if you have a question, don't forget to point to us in the comments, and then we can discuss it. So, guys,
Real questions, not Ben's question.
let's go.
I don't know. 1 year, sure.
What's this workshop past Sunday? The
Apparently,
plan 1 year after the
exactly
first
1 year.
Exactly. It looked like it was exactly 1 year after the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So, guys, what other tips would you guys add on to this for a beginner who wants to get started with
Meeks is left the panel.
off-camera flash?
Buy a manual flash and fail a lot.
Like that. Any tips to failing?
Just shoot a lot. Experiment with it a lot.
Yeah.
You can
Start
pick
with
up
one of these.
You can go to like a pawn shop. Like I bought my first flash at a pawn shop for $50. It was a Yongnuo or however you pronounce it. Manual flash. It didn't even it had little LED bars for the power, so you had to guess what the power was even at. But you learned how things were lit by using an old flash like that.
Yeah. And then one other thing I would say is always, if you are starting, don't go for the most expensive flashlights out there. When I first started, if I remember, I bought Amazon Basics $20 speed light. Bought one of those Young Neo triggers. Right, those days you had to put one receiver at the bottom and then have one on your camera.
Yep.
And just practice in my basement with that speed light. Right. I always say, if you guys, those who were at the workshop Sunday, I specifically on purpose did not talk about high speed sync, and that's because I believe that if you're beginning to learn, the best way to learn it's go manual. Right, go manual completely. Don't rely on the flash or the camera for anything. Shoot manual in camera, shoot manual on your flash. Right, and get the basics. Learn it that way.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time at the Chinguzi Park greenhouse lighting plants with that flash. Just trying different places, putting the flash at the base of the plant, putting the flash behind the leaves, just trying the flash in different places, different powers, thousands of shots, and just seeing what it did. But thousands of shots, just so that now when I pick up a flash and go on site, I don't even have to think about it anymore. I just set it up and I know exactly what it's going to do, at what power, where to have it. But it takes thousands of shots.
Put the time in.
Yeah, there's no secret other than just put the time in to do it. Yeah.
Jim says manual is the manual for photography.
Preach.
Is there any other mode?
I know. Well, there's P. P for professional.
M's for master, though.
Oh, and by the way, guys, today I was sponsored for this show. You guys see my.
Who's sponsored by today?
I'm sponsored today by
Jergens?
Maize Specialty pineapple ginger juice.
Do they ship to Texas?
Shout out Maize.
They ship to Texas.
They ship everywhere. You just get to them on IG.
Yeah. Brampton?
And you will get it.
Brampton
yes.
Base?
Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto.
Okay.
Beautiful, nice, natural, organic juice. I love them. So.
Did they give us enough sponsorship for the sound effect budget?
Oh.
I think Paul is queuing up a sound effect.
I have one up. I just don't want to get Evan's copyrighted.
Oh.
Fair use.
Fair use. Fair use.
Yeah, you can use fair use.
I know Evans was talking on Sunday about how how if you're going to buy, you should invest in the Godox brand, right, Evans?
Right. What I said is that if you're going to buy flash, whether it's a speed light or off-camera flash, I recommend going with the Godox brand instead of going for, let's say, the Canon native or Nikon native flashes. Because if you do, and you ever need to switch cameras or anything of that sort, you're stuck. You gotta have to sell everything and go buy a new one. Right now, I'm shooting. You guys all know I am a Sony shooter, but my Sony camera is broken. Now I'm shooting an EOS R, but I was able to still do the workshop Sunday because my Godox flash works with every system. All I need is a different trigger. Right,
which is significantly less expensive to purchase.
Less expensive.
Yes.
The trigger will cost you maybe $70, whereas a new flash can range from anywhere from 100 to 1,000.
Yeah.
a good tip.
So Mix, what would you give as an advice for beginners?
Okay, so my main advice is like I think you actually mentioned this earlier. Yes, when you are setting up your shot, right? Just know that your flash is not going to flash on the trees that are 300 meters away. It's not going to go that far. So when you are setting up your ambience, right? Do not make room for the flash there. The safest thing is take off the transmitter on your camera completely, so that it's not connected in any way, or you can just turn it off. But sometimes some cameras, when you turn it off, it still does a compensation. So take it off completely and then take the shots. These shots, I expect your model to not be properly lit, but your background should be exposed exactly how you want it. Now you can now turn on your flash and start working your way up. If you've done it for a while, you know where to start from. But if you haven't practiced enough, you might have to start and make several adjustments. So again, practice, practice, practice.
And if you start with a manual flash off camera and you're shooting with a telephoto, you can very easily get your steps in by walking back and forth to that flash, adjusting the power.
Yeah,
that's an easy way to lose weight. That's an easy way to lose weight.
Yeah, especially starting out, you're going to have to adjust that power a lot. So just get used to a lot of walking back and forth. It's okay.
Yeah. I remember when I first started, I had young new, I think it's a 602 triggers. So you had one trigger at the bottom of the flash and then one on your camera.
Yep.
But it doesn't talk to the flash in any way except to trigger it, right? So if you need to
walk
change
to the
power, you gotta walk
flash,
to the flash,
push the
bring it
buttons on
down,
the back.
adjust it,
Yep.
put it back up.
Those pocket wizards, and then they'll stop working all of a sudden. You know why it didn't flash, and then it's like, what happened?
Yeah, those were the fun days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but now with the Godox stuff, it's pretty,
So the Godot system is excellent.
Excellent.
In terms of value for money.
Yep.
Right. Flashpoint is good, but it's just sometimes overpriced.
Godox?
Yeah,
Flashpoint
is
Flashpoint's actually just a rebadged.
It's actually a
Godox,
rebranded Godox.
Yeah, for different markets.
I was talking about is it Pro Photo?
Pro Photo,
yes. Yeah.
They have the 8600,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Pro Photo's expensive.
Way too expensive for what they do.
You'll live shoot under?
No, I'll blind you.
The only advantage you really get with more expensive is if you do a lot of high-end studio stuff, you get a lot more color consistency with a more expensive flash.
Yeah.
But for most guys shooting outdoors, it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter, right? Unless you're doing color accurate stuff that you need to. And in that case, I would say you need to get a color checker. Yeah. Color checker passport. I always use it every time. I have that for the video and for photos as well. Whenever I feel like I need it, I use it.
Tony's also Godox.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
It works.
Yo, Ray's United. How you doing, bro?
Where's Ray's located?
Ray's in the UK.
Okay.
England.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
I've known this guy for over 30-something years, man.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Cool,
if you guys are like Patience Money and you like Patience Money's channel, you gotta check out Ray. Ray's also does crypto stuff.
Does he?
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Crypto, Pi network, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, so anybody want to start sharing some examples? Let me put up this first one here, and then we can get going with examples.
Sure.
Throughout the stream, Jim wants to jump on, or whoever else wants to jump on.
Yes, I'm going to send out the link in the chats, and whoever is ready to join on can join on.
There's Joe.
So there's a couple of lessons from this shot. I think, Paul, you were with me when I took this.
Yeah, me and Bryan James.
This was at daytime.
Yeah.
Right. Full blown daytime. There's two things I wanted to show with this picture. One is the lighting. So I have the light at on the light chart. You can see this light was positioned at, I think, 3 o'clock. And so you have half of the model, right, kind of lit, but then the other side is in complete darkness, right? And that's what I was talking about, split light, right? This is not exactly perfect split lighting, but this is like my own kind of version of split lighting, because even though you have the light patterns there, you're not limited to trying to recreate those light patterns match for match. You can play around with it to your own liking. So it was positioned at the split lighting position, kind of, and then you see that the face, half of the face is in complete shadows, whilst the other side is a little bit more better lit, right? The other thing is that this is daytime, but you feel like it's a nighttime shot, right? And that's because I set my background exposure to almost eliminate all of the ambient light.
Nice.
Solid. Underpass Park.
Yep, underpass back.
Million skateboarders were behind Joe.
Yep.
There's Laura.
There's
Nice.
Laura. This one's a little more complex in the off-camera flash world, but it was fun. This is taken in the middle of the day in a forest. Set your on-camera white balance to tungsten. You have a bare light in the back to illuminate the smoke from behind. Everything's got this nice cool color cast, but then the light hitting the model actually has an orange gel on it, so that it neutralizes the color of the white balance on her skin. So you're playing with different white balance settings, you're playing with different gels on your flashes, playing with smoke, playing with awesome makeup in the middle of the day. And you get this.
Solid. Is this
Awesome.
going to be one of the workshops?
think-
Not this outfit, but
Yeah, I think maybe when we do that advanced level of camera flash, we should introduce a little bit of gel and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Let people
dude.
see
yeah.
how those
Yeah,
dance.
good.
Because those can be fun as well, right? But those
Gel
are
and white balance
advanced levels. Yep. Gel and white balance plays. Yeah.
yeah,
Banger, Tony. Banger.
All right.
it's up now. Oh, nice. I know that one.
Nice.
Just I used to work with her, and I got her to dress up in her wedding gown. So we went out with her family. I know this spot up near Orangeville, and that's just one flash off to, I think, around 3 or 4 o'clock, somewhere there, as per Evan's chart. And it's just one light. Actually, this light here, this one. I had a different modifier on it, but that's all you need, people.
Yep.
And
I love that shot.
thank you.
Works so well.
Shoot.
And there again, like Evans was saying before, you darken down the background as much as you want. Throw on that
Creates
flash.
that mood. Yeah. Creates that mood, right?
Like,
Oh, yeah,
like
definitely.
anything, it
It's
takes
that
a little
mood.
bit to fine tune it, but it's digital, so take your
Yeah.
time and just work at it.
Yeah, to me, it's like you're drawn to like the people. You're not drawn to like the forest. You know.
Yeah.
Because the light kind of guides you to them.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I like to use off-camera flash a lot, because especially outdoors, because at that time I can create whatever I want. I'm not limited to what sunlight is giving me. You see how the background is all darkened and the subject is there. So when you look at this image, your eyes is automatically drawn to the subject and not the woods, right? Whereas if this was a natural light shot that was properly exposed, the woods and all the stuff in the background can become very distracting.
Yeah.
Right.
You can never get this with just natural light. It's
No.
just
Yeah.
not
Unless you had
possible.
just luck, pure absolute luck.
Yeah.
And one little
streak
spot
of
of
light.
sunlight. Yeah, you'd have to be the luckiest person ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mix.
Okay. Oh, I see. Tony's asking if you can achieve these shots with constant lighting. Well,
If it's
constant.
strong enough, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, during the day it has to be strong enough. but at night it's a lot easier. I'll show you one that I did here, but let me show this first. So there's two lights. Sometimes my goal with flash is I try to make it such that it's not very obvious, but not on all shots. Some shots I make the contrast very strong. But this is two lights. We were shooting under a canopy of trees. If the sun was bright enough to be the backlight, I would have used the sun, but I used an 8200. I just placed it on the floor, put a stone underneath, and pointed it towards her back, and that worked. And then the one light was from almost behind me, and I was playing with a lot of the foreground element in this shot. So that was that, and then this other shot. So this one is continuous light. It was just a flashlight in a tube. It was just a flashlight in the tube, and I let my friend hold it right over her head. So I'll try and see if I can find the behind the scenes shot. If I do, I will put it back up. So this is continuous light, but it was dark. It was about 10 p.m. It wasn't it was really dark out. So all you need is a little bit of light, and then you can create some good images.
Yeah. So at night or even maybe around sunset, thereabout, continuous light can do a great job. But during the daytime, you need a lot of power, and continuous light won't cut, right? So during daytime or in the mornings and stuff like that, you need something more powerful, and that's where your flash comes in.
Okay, so tell me where the flash is on this one.
Shout out Cinebloom.
No Cinebloom.
No?
Nope, no Cinebloom on this shot.
Wow.
So is that the sun that is backlighting and giving the side light? Or is that
Nope.
a fake sun? You created a sun with the light.
I
Yeah.
created the
Flashlight.
sun with the flash.
Yeah, you got me there. I was pretty sure that was the sun.
That was a cloudy day.
You created the sun with the flash?
Yep.
Just took out the stand in Photoshop.
Right.
But yeah, that's another
Put
thing
a-
you can do with a flash is
Put a
throw an
CTO
orange
gel on it
gel
or
on it.
something. Yep.
CTO gel, warm white balance, just fire it in there, full power.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
actually a cloudy day. So
So like, what am I going to do? I got an idea.
I was experimenting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like about Flash, right? Just the fact that you can experiment, just have fun, and sometimes you're just playing and just having fun, and you create something that is really unique just because you're
Create
enjoying
this
that process,
warm
right?
sunset glow
Yeah.
without an actual sun in the sky.
That's right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it works. You would never know.
Okay, let's see what's the next one.
Oh, jeez. Casual banger.
Nice.
This
I
is
know
what
that one too.
this is what Bryan and I do sometimes when we're actually working with a model and
Can you
light
zoom in?
painting. So if I get anything wrong, Bryan, just fix me because I'm not the most technical one. I'm just whatever. But
Your tube guy.
yeah. So basically, with this, I did the tube behind her, and then on rear curtain or second, whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Bryan.
second curtain, rear curtain, both work
Yeah.
depending
So
on the brand.
So basically, the shutter's open for a long time. This is a long exposure shot. We do the light painting, and just before the shutter closes to end the shot, the flash fires just to put light on the subject. Otherwise, if you do it at the beginning, the light painting doesn't come out as nice. So
Yeah, you have to light her with a high power right at the end so that she pops in front of the light painting.
Yep. Somebody asked that question Sunday about something similar. They want to do something similar. I said that second curtain or rear curtain sync is the way to go, because
I know this is more advanced, but
Yeah.
this is things you can work up to. So,
Yep.
so
nice.
there.
Damn,
Okay.
that's creative, man.
All right, yeah, I just wanted to show the tube. I just found the picture and I wanted to show the tube.
Okay.
So pretty much the continuous this here I was just using the modeling light in the 8600 because it was too dark. It was so dark that even at the lowest power it was too powerful for what I wanted to do. So I just turned the modeling light on in here. All right.
Nice.
Do I get to show another picture?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sure. Go for
Let
it.
me see. Let me see if I can find. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I?
I'm gonna queue up another. That's mine. That's one that Andre and I did. You grab mine. That's okay. So that's again off-camera flash, long exposure, with real fire though.
Yeah.
I like the sword.
We don't mess around.
Yeah, that's real fire. I have burn scars to prove that we use real fire. Because I'm usually the guy working the fire. So
Your insurance is watching.
Who? What?
what? Yeah.
Again, 2 lights set up. Right downtown, busy downtown. 2 lights set up. One back here, one this way, to the right. It's like I always like that diagonal setup, and I shoot towards it. So the backlight will, if it's to my left, behind the, the front light will be to my right, slightly to the side. Unless I'm trying to do short lighting, which I would move it a little bit more that way. But most of the time, that's my favorite go-to light setup.
Nice.
Yes, Tony. Gotta suffer for the art.
Yeah, it's the cowboy.
Oh, I was hoping you would show this one.
Yes, the cowboy
Oh,
in a swimming pool. Behind the scenes on how this was made is actually on my YouTube channel right now. So
Yep. And you guys will be surprised this is daytime, right?
yeah, this is the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Middle of the day.
Yeah.
just what you can do using off-camera flash.
Yeah. Go check out the BTS of this shoot on Bryan's channel right after. It's very you will learn more from that too. You understand how this is done during the day.
There was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Shout out to the cowboy.
This is also off-camera flash. I actually used the flash so that I could really underexpose the background and just put a little bit of light on her.
Mm-hmm.
And just playing with those tones and really playing with the moodiness of it. But using the flash just gives you the raw materials to work with.
Was this in the wintertime?
This was in December. Laura,
that's
Laura.
And that was Laura's
Laura
idea,
in
right?
Lake Ontario in December. Yeah.
That was Laura's idea, right? To go into Lake Ontario.
Yeah. So that's
Shout out
Laura
Laura.
in the lake in December because Laura kills it. So just jump quick to another one Andre and I worked on. A promotional shot for a theater group. There's actually no makeup on this girl.
Oh yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah,
There's no makeup on her. So we actually used green gels and
Mhm.
green smoke
solid.
to add all the green to that shot.
Yeah, that was fun.
And you can see how the green is kind of controlled just around the hair, right? And not spilling all the way out. That's also like the modifier. So
Honeycomb grid.
honeycomb grid tightens the spread of the light. Right. So
Yeah,
the light is
both
not
flashes had, like, there's a back flash and a front flash here. Both had green gels and honeycomb grids just to keep the light nice and tight and really control the spill. Andre's showing one there. Just that's it. On a small reflector, and you get this really narrow beam of light. Just works really well.
Yep.
Put it in there,
Bam.
Nice.
and that's it.
That's it.
Get a nice focused beam.
Yep. Okay, I'll share one. This is not the best of shots, but I just wanted to. Yep, I just wanted to show you guys something. So this not the best of shot, but this was with a very tiny light source. So I'm using the AD200, but I'm using the bare bulb flash that comes with the AD200 with no modifier, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to keep the sunset look, but I also want her to be properly exposed. In this scenario, the best option would have been if I had some sort of modifier on the lights. Then I could have avoided the light spilling all over here and all over the floor, right? But that's what you get. So depending on the modifier that you choose, you get different effects. Because this was bare bulb, the light is going everywhere. There's no control, right? To control that light, you need something like a grid, something like what do you call it? The reflector or something to tighten and narrow
Barn
the
doors,
beam of
anything
light,
like that,
bend or
yeah.
something, just to narrow how the light spreads, so it can only be focused on your subject, right? So
Good example. Good example.
Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite pictures because while we were going down, so this is Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania. While we're going down to take this picture, I fell while I was holding my 8600, and for some reason, I was protecting that thing like a baby, and I scratched my back, rolled over twice. I was still holding it safely. So, yes. So I think it was worth it. So yeah, that always reminds me of that. Two flashes again, 8600 to the right and 200 to the left. So. All right.
you got to protect that 8600, man. That thing is
Yo, it's mine is the very, very old version, the very, very old manual version.
That's what I have, the BM.
Yeah, I still have it.
It works perfect. Like that's why I keep saying that if you're interested in TTL and all that stuff, you will learn. Get the manual one, and you save money. TTL is something that I never use, but to get a TTL version is like $300 or $400 more. Right?
Yeah. Why would you want TTL?
Why would you want TTL? Yep.
So this is, her foot's actually not cut off in the full version. There, I'll put that because I don't like seeing her foot cut off. This is actually one light using a 48-inch softbox. It's probably my favorite lighting setup. One light in a 48-inch softbox in an abandoned house.
Yeah.
Nice.
Abandons always work for portraits.
Oh yeah.
It's got that grittiness to it.
Yeah. It's just got to be my favorite lighting setup, though. It's just the single light in a large softbox.
Nice. I like the color on that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Outside, middle of the road. Yes. Good old Hamilton.
Good old Hamilton.
Gotta love the hammer.
Did they close the road for you, or did you just...
No, this is like 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So
No one, eh?
I don't recommend doing this. If you're going to do it, be safe.
It's got like the Matrix vibe to it. You want the red pill or the blue pill?
So yeah, that's just one flash. Again, this 8360 from Godox. We are not sponsored, so...
Not yet. It's coming, though.
Not yet.
They're tag Godox in the tags, Evans.
Yep.
So
we keep talking Godox. None of us is sponsored by Godox. It's something
Twitter,
we use
Instagram.
and love. That's why we talk
Twitter,
about
Instagram.
it.
spend our own money on it, and it works. So that's just like with this, you don't have to get complicated. One light does it, and so yeah,
It's cool.
my 2 cents.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, guys. So, any final words?
I got one more share just for fun.
Let's go.
Because we recently did a steel wool light painting workshop. Let's show some steel wool with off-camera flash.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Solid.
It's an older shot, but
Solid.
Denise, that's Hamilton.
yeah.
Shout out to Denise. Shout out to Denise.
She's a fitness model.
That's right,
Yeah.
Tony. Get out and shoot with Godox. It's coming.
Yeah.
All of our workshops will be sponsored by Godox. Imagine.
That'd
Again,
be
just the
awesome.
same process as before. This is a 2-light setup with orange gels to warm up the light on her. so that it matches the light on the sparks and everything. Again, just second curtain, so you do the steel wool, and then right at the end of the exposure, boom, the flash fires in, illuminates her.
And those of you who are wondering about the second curtain, the reason why you have to do second curtain in this scenario is that, the steel wool, you want to capture that, but also you want to make sure that the model is sharp and frozen, right? And so that last flash at the end of the exposure, the flash freezes the model, so she's not blurry, right?
Yeah. Whereas if you flash at the beginning, you're going to get some dark spots, or she may be blurry, and the steel wool is going to be over top of her.
Yep.
Because basically on second curtain, the sensor stacks the light in the order that it occurs. So the last light is on top.
Tony's got a question.
Does he? That was the whole.
That's just me spinning.
Andre magical. That's Andre doing the steel wool.
Andre is the spin master.
We should call Andre Spin Master.
You're Spin Master, man.
Oh wait, I gotta get new license plates then. Awesome.
Yeah,
and new stickers for the car.
That should be
hashtag Dirty Car Series. Hashtag Spin Master.
Oh, I gotta.
I got your YouTube channel name, Spin Master.
I forgot to share the link for our guests.
Yeah, Kim, you want to jump on and share something quickly? Or Tony, you want to jump on and?
I forgot.
Well, so Evan's just getting that set up. Just a reminder: the $5 challenge show is next week. Yes. So make sure you get your photos in.
Come on, do I have to show a receipt?
Yes, Riggs.
You have to show a receipt. Yes.
So
you're in US dollars.
If it's $5 for us, it means it's $2.50 for you.
Don't even try.
I'm not asking for receipts. I'm just trusting people are honest.
So how do people submit, Bryan?
They send it to bemcgowanphoto@gmail.com. Yep. The link's on the Open Shutter IG. It'll be there again tomorrow or Friday when we do another post about it. Just have fun with it. I know a few people have got some stuff they're working on. I can't wait to see it all, and hopefully everyone in the show has something they're working on so that we can show off our stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Being built.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. I lose my mic as soon as I get on, right?
All right. Someone's gonna have audio problems today.
Kim's here, so show's over now. We gotta end it.
Yeah.
We love you, Kim.
Thanks for coming to the workshop Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Kim has been the number one supporter of Open Shutter since day one.
Yeah. 100%.
I tweeted this show tonight.
Yeah, I know. We have a lot of people on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To be honest. Well, what's going on tonight? So what? So Kim, what did you enjoy most from Sunday?
My knowledge that had grown over the last year felt a little bit easier doing this.
Totally.
So I think. Ooh.
Did you want to share any photos, or you just came on for a quick chat?
Sorry, I'm using these.
Did you want to share any photos? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Oh.
Can you hear us now? This is going to turn into a Sprint commercial.
Can you hear us now?
Okay. No. Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you a little bit. So, how do I share anything?
You just share screen. And then
at the bottom you see the share sign.
Yeah.
I don't have a share sign.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Oh.
Should. There's like a.
Yeah, it should be there. Right along the bottom, there should be like mute, stop cam, cam mic, share, leave studio.
Yeah,
that should all be on the bottom of the screen.
I think Kim's on her phone, so I'm not sure if it's different.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what mobile looks like then.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure about the phone.
She's frozen.
Is Kim frozen?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, Kim's frozen. Oh, no. No, no.
All right. Okay. Oh, there we go again.
Okay, we'll try.
Okay.
Yeah,
yep.
Now I can hear you.
No one gets left behind.
Yeah. Okay. I just realized how bad my light was. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm supposed to share at the bottom. I
Well, you're-
can't.
Are you on the
You're on
phone?
phone.
You're on the phone, though,
Yeah,
right?
I'm on a phone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think on the phone is. I don't even know. I've never used the phone on StreamYard.
Is there like a
Yeah.
Oh
plus?
yeah.
Is there a plus
I
icon
thought
somewhere?
there should be. I thought I saw something when I was in the other. But every time I go to play with something, it just seems to
To freeze.
share.
Oh,
Yeah.
So about the question Tony asked earlier, about how the whole was achieved. So I think the very first time I'd attempted it with some friends really quickly, what happened was I kept getting burned. So while I was spinning it, I was moving left and right. If you do that, the circle is not gonna be straight. So you have to endure the pain. And
It
stay
stands
still.
still.
You're not the spin master, man. You're not the spin master.
So
There's only
yeah.
one
Meek.
spin master.
Meek, you have to try it with magnesium in there that's burning at 3,000 degrees.
Oh,
Nope.
Yes.
That feels fantastic when it hits you.
oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
I think Kim froze. So let's wrap
Okay.
up, guys. And then
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll
Maybe
try-
we'll
we'll try
share
next
that
time,
image
Kim.
from next week. All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, any final words before we?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Again, hopefully you took away a couple things. Evans will put the link for the PDF file that you can download and steal for your own use. And yeah, stay tuned for the dollar store challenge. Bryan will put all the information on the stories again. Follow the Open Shutter IG. There's no harm in getting your friends to follow the Open Shutter IG, because if you want votes, then get your friends and family to follow the Open Shutter IG, and then you'll get votes, because I'm pretty sure that's how we're going to do the voting, just through polls.
I think
right,
so.
Bryan?
Just either just polls or post it all and people just comment their favorite. I don't know. It's going to be,
Our first time.
Yeah. It's our first time. So
Basically, the more people that are in your corner, the more votes you'll get, which means
Yeah.
you might win.
yeah, whatever voting method we choose to go
Which
with
means
here.
you gotta invite more of your friends to come and
You
follow Open Shutter.
Open Shutter.
send everyone you know a note saying, please follow this account. If they ask you why,
Yep.
just say, trust me.
And none
All
of the
right.
guys on the screen, can win. So don't worry about us keeping it to ourselves.
Yep.
But I'm going big, baby.
Yeah, we're just having fun with it.
Don't you worry.
And it's gonna be a pretty
All
good
right.
prize. It's gonna be more than $5. It's gonna be more than a $5 prize. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be worth your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just put it that way.
All right, guys. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. Hope you guys are also ready for it. Don't forget, you can't spend more than $5, right?
Make sure you
Plus
check
tax?
everybody out on YouTube in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, $5 before tax. I spent $4.50.
Receipts.
Yeah.
$4.75.
$4.50.
That's fantastic.
Did Evans freeze? Oh no, okay. Evans was just sitting
I'm
there
here.
still. He was
Oh,
doing
no,
his
no, no.
Drax impression.
I, I had something that's covering my screen, so I was just moving it out.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I think that's it for the night. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Go check out all of our channels as well and subscribe, because the show rotates from one channel to the other week over week. We're glad you're here. We hope you had fun, and we hope we were able to impact some amount of knowledge or skill onto you guys today. So stay blessed, keep creating, and we will see you next week, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
$5.